Hello internet, hello YouTube. Today I thought I would talk about some of the things I've been watching, reading, listening to, playing this month. It is not even halfway through May, but we're gonna ignore that and we're gonna talk about, I have a list of things that I've been consuming this month, and so we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna split it up into I don't know, we're gonna talk about like superheroes and comic stuff first because I know that's why most of you are subscribed to me, and then we'll talk about some other stuff so you can just watch the superhero stuff first and then leave if you want. Starting off with a bang, I watched Captain America Civil War. I loved it. I did. I loved it. I can't remember what my Letterboxd review was. Let's find out together. My review says the cuteness aggression I feel for baby Tom Holland is unreal. And that's true. He's so cute in that movie. He's one apple tall. Hello? Someone here? I know my dad's home, but who else is here? Maybe Thane just got into... Okay. Hold on.
Oh, say hi to the YouTube. Say, look right there. Right there.
He's like, what?
This is my doggy. Say hi. Say hi.
Oh! Oh! That's my dog. Anyways, I love Civil War. I thought it was great. Obviously, Team Cap. You can fight me on this. I will not back down from this. Team Cap, all the way, every single day. And not just because Captain America is my favorite Marvel. I did write some notes, but it was only for like the first 30 minutes, and then I kind of just locked in on the movie itself. But I wrote Wanda's so cute, and Nat looks great. Bucky. I loved Sam's little pet, Red Wing. So cute. Seeing young Tony was crazy. Especially after watching Agent Carter. I was like, wow. Anyways, so I watched that and I loved it. I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. And then I watched the Team Thor short that came out with the DVD release of Civil War. I thought that was really funny. I think that's probably the best short that I've seen so far. Again, I'm watching all of the MCU for the first time. I've never seen any of this stuff before. So, and then continuing with the MCU, I finished season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I started season 4. I only got to like episode 2 of season 4, I believe, because I immediately had to pivot to starting Luke Cage because Luke Cage came out like right after episode 2 of season 4, and I'm watching it like in release date. I'm serious about this. We're not going like one show at a time. I will stop in the middle of a season to go watch a completely different show and then come back. This is important. Anyways, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a really interesting show to me because there are 2 camps of people. There's one camp who thinks it's the worst thing to ever be created and that Marvel should be shunned for even making this. I don't know. A lot of those people didn't watch the show past season 1, I don't think. But even if they did, they still think it's like an abomination and like a stain on the Marvel name. And then there's the other camp who think it's a perfect show and who think it's the best thing that Marvel's ever made, and how dare they make it non-canon. I don't agree with either of those. I think it's a perfectly okay show. I think it is just okay. I don't think it's the worst thing that Marvel's ever made. I don't think it's the best thing Marvel's ever made. Not by a long shot. But I think it has some entertaining moments. And I think it has some really boring moments. I think it has a lot of boring moments. But a lot of also really fun moments. I really love Fitzsimmons. I love them a lot. I love May and I love Daisy. I really miss Raina. I really love Raina and I miss her a lot. And I'm also incredibly bored by Ward every time they bring him back. Hopefully he's gone for good now. But I should have probably said this earlier, but like vague spoilers for everything that I'm talking about. And maybe big spoilers. I don't know. But yeah. I love Fitzsimmons. They're probably my favorite part of the show. And as we move hopefully away from Ward, I'm hoping the show will get better. I'm really sad that Bobby and Hunter left. I thought they were a really great addition to the cast. I thought they were really great. I love Mac. Coulson's fine, I guess. I know he was a big draw for people at the start of the show because of the whole Coulson Lives thing, but now it's kind of just like, yeah, he's there. And it seems like they can't kill him. I mean, obviously they can't kill him because people didn't watch the show, so they wouldn't know. I mean, I guess they could kill him. And then Coulson's just, he died and then he came back and then he died again. Maybe that'll happen. I don't know. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't canon anymore, so it doesn't matter. I don't know. So why am I even watching this show, you may be asking? Because I'm crazy. Anyways, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's a lot going on there. I have so many thoughts on that show, and at the same time, none. I think it's a very CW show. Did it air on ABC? I think it aired on ABC, but it's very, like, long, drawn-out drama show, kind of, I think. Which, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I've watched a lot of shows like that, but that's the vibe I'm getting, and I think that's why so many people either love or hate it, because there's a big sector of people who love CW shows or like teen drama shows that go on for like a super long time, like The Vampire Diaries, and then there's that other section of people who think it's stupid and sloppy writing, blah blah blah. And I'm somewhere in the middle. I think it can be a really great show or it can be a really bad show. But I think most of the time with shows like that, it ends up being somewhere in the middle, where it's just kind of a mess, but most of the time it's a fun mess. You know? I've heard Once Upon a Time, something like that. I really want to watch Once Upon a Time, but I'm making myself finish the MCU before I watch Once Upon a Time, which is a crazy thing to say out loud, actually. I'm just now realizing. But, yeah. That's what's going on in my world. I love Disney, specifically Tangled. So, Once Upon a Time seems like a crazy show that I would love. Anyways, back to sorry, I can't stop talking. I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of Luke Cage, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a really cool show. I'm really glad to see Luke get his own show. I do miss Jessica, but this isn't about her, it's about Luke. I'm really interested to see where it goes. I think it's like, it might be better than Deadpool. I mean, not Deadpool, Daredevil. I always mix those two up. It might be better than Daredevil in a way. I think because it's willing to go that extra step and like actually like show you the violence, and not in like a gratuitous like shock value way. It's just like it's grittier and it's more real, and I think Daredevil wanted you to feel like it was gritty, but it wasn't willing to actually go the extra mile the way that Luke Cage is. I don't know, still I'm only a few episodes in, but I'm really enjoying it. I think it's great, and I love I do love a crime story, so there's that. So that's all of the Marvel stuff, as well as TVs. TV shows and movies that I've watched this month. So now we will move into the things I've read, starting with Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I'm on chapter 6, and I'm really loving this. It kind of hurts how much I love this. I think the art is beautiful. I don't really know about the writing because I may be stupid, but if the art is beautiful, everything else just kind of falls into place like naturally for me. So it could be some poo butt writing, but if the art looks as good as it looks in this, it seems fine to me. I don't know. I've heard that this was a really rushed production. I don't know anything about that. I'm just reading it as a Supergirl story because I know that this is what the movie is based on, and I want to read the source before the movie because my brain doesn't work, so I have to read the book before the movie. I'm sorry. But I am really enjoying this. I love, God, I'm gonna say her name wrong. In my head, I've been saying it Ruthie. Is it Ruthie or Ruthie? I don't know. I've been saying it Ruthie in my head, so I'm gonna call her Ruthie. I really love her, and I think it's really awesome to have the story not exactly centered on Supergirl, but kind of about Supergirl from somebody else's perspective. I think that's a really cool way to tell a story. I think that's awesome. And I love Kara, I don't know. I call her Kara in my head, but that might be wrong. I think she's the best. I think she's awesome. Oh, and this one panel, I'll put it up on the screen. Oh, it hurt. And I think it's only gonna get sadder, and I miss Crypto a lot. You saw my dog. My dog is Crypto. Ugh. But when Crypto gets hurt, it makes me really, really sad. So if Crypto dies, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do something bad. That's all my superhero stuff. It's not that much, honestly, but I just wanted to talk to you guys about that. After I finish Luke Cage, I should be able to move on to the Doctor Strange movie, which I'm pretty excited about. I think I've already seen it, but I've seen one of the Doctor Strange movies. I don't know if there's another one, but I've seen one of them and it made absolutely zero sense to me because I'd only seen the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. So, yay! Sorry. I'm out of school now, so I've been trying to keep my sleep schedule somewhat normal, but it's scary out here, y'all. It's scary out here. Anyways, that's all my superhero stuff. So if you were just here for that, bye, have a good day. And now we're gonna talk about some books, some games, some music, and YouTube. I've been watching a lot of YouTube. So there's that. So for books, I've actually been reading a manga online. It's called Taman's B-Side, and it is so good. I'm really loving it. I'm on like chapter 60, I want to say, and it's about this girl who is a huge fan of this idol group called Face, but she's specifically a really big fan of this one member, Tamon, and he's like her alt bias. She spends all of her money on merch for him, all of her money. She works really hard so that she can afford like tickets and like fan meetings and stuff like that. And she works as a housekeeper. So one day she gets a new client and she goes to the house, and who is it? It's Tamon. What the freak? No way, guys. But he's actually super depressed. That sounds really sad, but it's actually a really funny series. But it is pretty heartwarming at times, and it's about him kind of breaking out of his shell with the help of her, and him kind of like opening her up to love in a way. It's just so lovely. And you get to meet the other members of Phase, and they also have super different personalities from like their like stage personas, which I think is it's really funny, but it's also, I think, really realistic. I think most idols are not the way that they portray themselves. Like, obviously, like every celebrity has like a persona, but it's like very extreme here. There's one member who's super stoic and serious, and he like doesn't talk when he's an idol, but in real life he is a huge otaku, and he spends all of his money on this super obscure anime character, and he will not shut up ever. He's so me. It's so funny. I love him. Anyways, I think everybody should read that. It just got an anime adaptation. Season 1's out. I think the dub just came out. I haven't watched it because, again, I have to finish the manga before I can start the show, even though I'm pretty sure the show, I've passed it in the manga already. I just can't. I actually, last year, I bought the magazine that Taman's B-side is serialized in. I don't know why I did that instead of just buying the volumes in English, because there are English volumes out, but I really wanted the little inclusions that they put in there. The inclusion I got ended up not even being for Taman's B-side, so it was it wasn't a waste, because I got the whole magazine, and there's a bunch of other manga that are currently being serialized. And so I don't regret buying it, and I also cut out one of the things, and I put it up there. I'll show you guys later. I'll put a picture like right here, but I cut out one of the pages and put it on my wall of the FMC Utage. But yeah, I really loved How Much B-side, and I think you should all read it if you like shoujo, if you like comedy manga, if you like a romance, if you've ever been a fan of a musician or an idol ever. I think you should give it a shot, because Utage can be very relatable sometimes. She's so funny. Anyways, that's the only manga I've been reading. So to get into books, I have been reading Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. This book is about a woman who has been working at the same convenience store for the past 18 years, and kind of just how she goes through life. She's very different from her peers. I think in my opinion, it's heavily implied that she has autism, and everyone around her is kind of confused as to why she hasn't settled down, why she hasn't gotten a better job, why she doesn't do something better with her life, really. And so it kind of follows her, just her life, really, and how she like pushes back against that, and how she kind of thinks, and the way she differs from the rest of society. I don't know. It's really interesting, and it's really short. This book is teensy tiny. Like, this is my journal, which is like maybe a bit bigger than a normal like paperback would be, but she's tiny. And I'm really enjoying it so far. I think the way that she speaks is very methodical. She's very interested in the way that other people act. She takes note on very specific things about people, specifically the way they speak, and she kind of mirrors the way they speak depending on who she's with. She'll like mix certain intonations of different people, like her coworkers and stuff. Hello. This is just very interesting, and I'm really enjoying it. She's just met this new guy who immediately gets fired because he sucks. And the way he thinks about the world is kind of the same way that she thinks about it, but in this like very like male-centric, like stupid way. Like he's like, society hasn't progressed since the Stone Age. It's all about who can be the biggest and strongest man, and they get the prettiest wife, and then we're left to pick up the pieces. And she's like, oh, you're like struggling, like you can't find a good job or like a wife. And he's like, yeah, because nobody takes me seriously because I'm a man and you women have it so much easier. If I could just find a wife, my life would be so much easier. And she's like, you could marry me, because like she doesn't really care. And he's like, ugh, because he sucks. Anyways, so Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. I'm enjoying that so far, and it's really short. I would recommend that if you're just interested in translated work, if you've never read something like that before. I think it's a really interesting kind of slice of life book, and I really want to read Earthlings by her. The other book I'm reading is in my bag. I picked this book up from my library literally 2 days ago, because I went out with my mom for Mother's Day, and we went to the library. One by One by Frida McFadden. I have been interested in Frida McFadden for a couple months now. This is gonna sound really mean. I didn't want to buy any of her books because I think I'll enjoy them, but I don't think I want them on my shelf forever. I think they're just like a quick palate cleanser, just a very quick read, if that makes sense. And I think I could fly through these so quickly that I could just like go like once a week to the library and like swap it out for a new one. So there's that. And I think I was right in that assumption, because it's been 2 days and I've already hit page 124, which is a lot for me in 2 days. So One by One by Frida McFadden. This is a thriller mystery about this group of people who go out for a vacation, a week-long vacation in the woods. Yeah, they're in the woods. They're going to this like inn. They're going to an inn in the middle of nowhere, and their car breaks down, obviously. And so they're stuck in the woods now, and they're lost, and one by one people start to die. And it's like, oh my god, what's going on? One of you is killing us. Because there's like, in between the main girl's point of view, we're also getting chapters from somebody called Anonymous, which is obviously the person who's like, not the person who's killing them, because the first person, which is as far as I've gotten, the second person there hasn't been a second death yet, but the first person to died completely. It was their fault. That sounds mean, and I liked the character, but they died and it was their fault completely. But the person who I guess like is orchestrating things, I guess, because I think the reason their car broke down was because of whoever is trying to kill all of them. I don't know. But there's secrets, the people are cheating on each other, there's relationship drama, you know, and it's kind of corny. The writing style is like extremely simple, and there's literally every few pages I stop and I read a line, and I'm like, I could, like, grammatically I guess it's fine, but it doesn't read well. It's not exactly the pinnacle of writing, I don't think. Sorry, this is really mean for a book that I'm honestly enjoying, but it's a quick, easy read. And I think if you like a mystery or you like a thriller, you could fly through this really easily. So, and I've heard that the plot twists at the end get crazy in all of her books. So, I really think I could read like all of her books, like by the end of this year. Just because I really love a cheesy, not exactly good mystery thriller. Dude, my favorite kind of movie is a 2000s horror movie. I love Final Destination. That's who you're talking to right now. So this is like right up my alley. So I don't know why I'm being so mean. Sorry to this man. So I've been reading that, and I'm honestly really enjoying it, aside from the very simplistic writing style that is kind of irking me. Anyways, those are all the books I've been reading. Let's talk about video games. I've only played 2 video games this month. What I'm going to talk about first, I've barely even played it this month, because by this month I mean this morning, like less than an hour before filming, I just installed it and played it for like 30 minutes. I started playing old school RuneScape. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I can't explain. I just really like quests. I like a game where the entire point is just to fulfill quests. I think that's why I like merge games so much. It's just like repetitive and you have a very set goal in mind. I'm not very good at fighting or open world games. I just want a quest. I just want a bunch of little tasks. That's it. So, old school RuneScape. I actually spent about 2 hours raging against Steam because it logged me out and the CAPTCHA wouldn't work and then it wouldn't send me a verification code. I finally got in through Windows. So, did that. Freaking finally. Steam is my enemy now. Anyways, old school RuneScape. I'm having fun. I don't think I've gotten far enough to really say anything about the game itself. I'm having fun. Anyways, the second game I've been playing on my Switch Lite. You might know what it is already. Can you see it? It's Tomodachi Life Living the Dream for the Switch Lite. I am such a big Tomodachi Life fan. I've been playing Tomodachi Life on my 3DS since I was probably like 8. I'm a massive, massive Tomodachi Life fan. So when this game got announced, I did a triple backflip off my bed and I screamed and I cried. And I've been loving it, to be honest. I think there's some things about it that I would change if I could. I miss the music hall. I wish there were more little quirks and goods to give your Miis. But other than that, I'm really loving this game. You guys want to see my Mii? This is her.
This will turn the table.
I don't know what she said. She's stupid. But I love her, and I spoil her, and I give her all the gifts. So, I've made quite a few people on there. I've made a bunch of my friends, my brothers. I have made Langdon and Mel from the Pit. I made Santos from the Pit. Who else? Oh, I made Superman. Superman's here. And then I've made the bunch of friends. Which I guess will lead into our next section. YouTube. Yay! I've been watching a lot of YouTube recently. I love YouTube. I love to just put it on in the background while I play my mobile games that are really not good. I play a lot of Pixel Flow and this other game. Where's my iPad? Jewel coloring. I play a lot of jewel coloring. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. And while I'm doing that, I'm watching YouTube. Let's talk about who I've been watching a lot of recently. We'll start off with Strange Eons. I love Strange Eons. I'm a big fan of fan history. I care a lot about fandom history and fan fiction history. Just all of it. I care so much. I care probably too much about things like copyrighted fan fiction, AO3. I care way too much. I also care a lot about Tumblr. I probably shouldn't, but I do. I care a lot about Tumblr and fandom. So, Strange Eons makes a lot of really good videos delving into things like what's trending on Tumblr right now, what was big on Tumblr back then, and just like general fandom content, and just like general weird things that people do on the internet, which is really awesome. If I had to recommend you one Strange Eons video, what would it be? Oh, you should watch the video about Miss Scribe. There's actually 2 videos about Miss Scribe that I watch on repeat. So, Strange Eons video on Miss Scribe, and then I can't remember the other lady who made a video about her, but I'll put them both here. You guys should watch both of these videos if you like fandom history, stuff like that, fan fiction history. Another YouTuber, or this one's actually a group. They were on my Tamagotchi island. Bunch of Friends. I love Bunch of Friends. I love them too much. A lot. I love them a lot. My favorite is Hanbon. Freaking obviously. Duh. I'd actually been watching Anpo for a very, very long time. Back when he did Fat Yoshi videos. But I watched him for a long time. I remember his videos with his college friend group when Hanbon was in those too. And then they started a Bunch of Friends and I started watching them recently and I'm just completely obsessed with them. I think they're so funny. And let me recommend you a video. I really love Driving Until We Run Out of Gas. I do love that video. And Can We Get a Billionaire to Respond to Us? I like that video a lot. But I've seen all of their videos, most of them more than once. I also like Which One of Us Ate a Weed Brownie, but that video is very new, so. Oh, I've been watching a lot of Nisi Pisa. Nisi Pisa does a lot of window shopping videos where she goes online, looks at clothing websites, and calls it ugly. And I go, oh my god, so true. Just any of her window shopping videos, really, I love. I do like it when she goes on Sporkle as well. I'm gonna link all of these people in the description. We're just gonna rapid fire this. Frankie's Shelf, Sinjin Drowning, Pasta Coma, Smosh, Colleen's Manga. Oh, Hazel. I love Hazel videos. She does videos about old anime. So good, so good. You should all watch her forever. Okay, moving on. We're gonna talk about music just really quickly. So I'm just gonna open my Spotify and tell you what's going on there. I make a new playlist every month. Highly recommend if your music taste changes as often as mine does. I've been listening to so much Audrey Hobart, like too much Audrey Hobart. Like Who's the Clown is one of the most me albums that I've ever heard. Too good, too good. Hits too hard, so good. Love it. I've been listening to a lot of Arctic Monkeys. Couldn't tell you why. I've never been interested in them. And then this month I was like, Arctic Monkeys. Need that. Lizzie McAlpine, The Beatles, Amy Winehouse, and She and Him. That's my music for this month, I think. I'm gonna cut the video here because I have almost hit 40 minutes on this recording. But yay! I'll try to finish most of the things I talked about here, and then we can do like an end of May wrap up, you know? So that'll be fun. Yay! Okay, that's it. I love you guys so much. My name is Fen and/or Comic Cupid, and thanks for watching. Bye!